All right, guys, breaking news. There's something happening now that is similar to what happened in the late 1960s as far as the government operating extrajudicially to suppress dissenting opinions, particularly those who are critical of our government and the actions of corporate billionaires and war profiteers. The media conglomerates who serve as their lapdogs have worked overtime since the Occupy movement of 2012 to deploy potent culture war distractions and keep the voting public evenly divided on almost meaningless issues, while they tighten their grip on wealth and information. Somehow, someway, they've tricked the right into worshiping the wealthy while scapegoating the vulnerable, and tricked the left into destroying itself through infighting and a system of social exile that rules through fear and cancellation. Simultaneously, social media platforms have bent to the will of the machine. With no incentive but capital, they've perfected their algorithms to radicalize the gullible, pleasing shareholders as they monetize human outrage through clicks and ad revenue. As informational literacy dwindles and unaffordability continues to rise, the distraction of poverty allows our government to do what they're doing right now, which is the mass federal detention of activists, students, union leaders, and progressives who disagree with the agenda of this current government. One is Alfredo Zeffirino, the leader of a migrant farm workers union in my home state of Washington. Another is Mahmoud Khalil, a Columbia graduate student who led a pro-Palestine protest. Another is Tufts PhD student Ramesa Osterk. Every day, the list grows and grows under the dubious notion of immigration enforcement. But the US government has been doing this for a long time, particularly in the late 60s with an FBI counterintelligence program aimed at maintaining political and social order. But back then, the FBI had tact to smear and disempower environmentalists, desegregationists, and powerful thinkers like Fred Hampton, James Baldwin, and for some reason, Ernest Hemingway. It took a decade of careful surveillance, organizational infiltration, and legal harassment to make the collapse of people's movements look natural. But nowadays, they don't need tact or finesse to carry out the agenda. Under algorithmic hypnosis, the public can easily be conned into supporting government overreach through the deployment of micro-traumatic digital media, or they can be made to not notice at all with a TikTok dance or some shit. Anyways, a total formation of a permanent oligarchy is more possible now than any other time in American history that I know of. And that's precisely because the two power structures, let's call them the two deep states, have combined. The first, most obvious deep state is connected to the Democrat Party, the cabal of anti-left centrists who control Hollywood and 3/4 of the mainstream press through a web of blackmail deliverables that are maintained by intelligence agencies. These folks are real, but they have no sway over the youth. They create horrible art and are aging into oblivion. Now, the second deep state, which ironically campaigned on the platform of banishing the first, is distinctly Trumpian, representing a separate pillar of influence, and is much more grassroots. Due to its lack of representation outside of Fox News and the mainstream, it's been able to posture itself as countercultural and launder the reputations of sweatshop owners, billionaire landlords, and business bullies through a network of podcasts and alternative media channels. Today, and more than ever, these two deep states are becoming one. As the political influence of Democrat lawmakers becomes obsolete, their former billionaire backers like Zuckerberg and Bezos are jumping ship in fear of retaliation and are now cooperating with the very machine they once pretended to be at odds with. Very soon, absolute power will be in the hands of the few, so stay vigilant and keep it 55th Street. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Callahan and you're watching 5Cast,